Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of Agorasmokes, episode 1. I am Casi Rumore, and today we're diving into a unique and intriguing comparison between anarchy and smoking a cigar. At first glance, these two might seem worlds apart, but stick with me and you'll see how they share some fascinating similarities. Think about the process of smoking a cigar. You start by trimming a little bit off the top. This isn't just for show. That was a horrible cut. I didn't get enough sleep last night. It's a crucial step to ensure a smooth and enjoyable experience. In the same way, anarchy often involves cutting away the excess and rigid structures of traditional systems to create a space for freedom and spontaneity. Next, you light the cigar. This isn't just for show. Or sorry. I didn't get enough sleep last night, guys. Did I mention that? So next you light the cigar. The initial burst of flame might seem a little destructive, but it's necessary to unlock the rich flavors and aromas within. Similarly, anarchy can seem chaotic and fiery at first, but this very energy can lead to a more authentic and unfiltered experience of life, just as the flame brings the cigar to life. So grab your favorite cigar or just your curiosity, and let's explore how these two seemingly different worlds intersect, what we can learn from their unexpected parallels. Stay tuned and let's light up this conversation. And remember, be the light you want to see in the world. Before we roll, I wanted you guys to know that today's episode is hosted by Zak and co-hosted by Andrew from the Legacy Right. They are some awesome individuals, have a great podcast. You should go check them out. Here we go.
These motherfuckers, they're called the DEA, they're called the CIA, they're called the NSA, and today they listen to everything that you say, but you don't give a fuck, you just go about your day. You're not keep a smile on everyone and we pretend that we're dumb.
I am the legacy of Jennifer and Kaya. Excuse me, man.
Did you sleep last night?
I don't think I slept last night. I'm Zachary Kaiser. I am your El Capitan. You can call me Picard. This is my co-host, my number one, Riker, Andrew Joseph. How you doing today, Andrew?
Not bad. How you doing, Zach?
Good morning, man. So, we ready to roll on this show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, we got some guests here today. We got Mike Decentralize, Patrick Kirby, the Freedom Variant, and Ali. What are you guys up to? How you doing?
Good morning.
Morning.
So we're going to cut it off first with Ali. How you doing? What do you do?
I'm doing good. I do accounting for the state party and for my career. And I used to fight people with Twitter, but I'm taking a time out because it's just too much fighting.
Right.
Too much. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to go read some books and hang out at the beach for a while.
Peace. Patrick Kirby, what do you do? How are you involved?
Hello, I am a filmmaker and cameraman in Southern Nevada, and I am also a liberty zealot because I believe that the principles of liberty are the formula for the just and peaceful advancement of humanity, and we're throwing them all away because we haven't read a book. So it's our job to try to teach and convince people. And Ali, I don't argue, I explain because I'm always right. So,
oh, wow.
All right. I love that confidence.
I have this saying, I tell people that I don't argue if I'm not right. So
yeah.
If I'm arguing, I'm right too. I'm always right.
Right. Always.
Mike Decentralize, what do you do?
Well, I right now I've kind of put aside my background in mortgage and real estate. Against my better judgment, I'm diving full time back into liberty activism. That's just too urgently needed, I think, right now, particularly at the grassroots coalition building level. And the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of sensing something coming, but now after the convention last weekend, I am like, okay, it's all about local grassroots coalition building and activism.
Here.
Entirely. It's got to be from the ground up. I'll get into more of that later as time allows, but that's become my pretty much my singular focus, along with a few other writing projects. They have totally different from like mortgage and real estate finance and stuff like that. But I do a lot of. I've always done a lot of writing. I've been focusing on engaging people in real life as well as on X, as you guys well know. But that's now become my singular focus, and I'm working on something in particular that I think will be really helpful to that end.
Best for last, Tim, the Freedom Variant. What's up?
Yeah, I don't know about best for last, but I am Tim O'Connor. I call myself the Freedom Variant. Guys, look, I'm a construction professional. I have a degree in economics from SUNY Binghamton, one of the finest public institutions in the country. I do a radio show with my buddy Kevin Wilson. We try to bring pragmatic libertarian solutions to our friends, our families, and our communities. And I know some of you guys have joined in on the show. I'd love to have more people come in because, guys, it's fun and it gives us a platform to discuss with each other ways to discuss things with the real world, which is, guys, I think that's what this show is about. Libertarians have a problem communicating with the real world. Our ideas are sound, our philosophies are awesome, and we don't want to shit on our neighbor. Like, that's one of the things that we fail to communicate to the rest of the world. So I'm glad to join you guys. We've had fun in the past, and I'm looking forward to another good one.
And you bring up a good point, because, I mean, speaking of what Casi said at the end of the show, a cigar is layers and layers of different tobacco leaves, different tobacco. Can't think of the word right now. Too early for me. But
material.
But the material of it, the material of it is different strands. And so you look at those different strands, that's different individuals. And with that, you can have a piece of what everybody can bring within the societies that we create in our own world. So, nice. I mean, and that's the whole purpose of it, right? Is to take that individuality that we all have and kind of cooperate with one another. So
the only traits that all people have to have in common to live together in peace and prosperity is a reverence for liberty and a loathing of injustice. And that's it. We can share. We can each have our separate cultures or whatever. But if we love liberty, we respect the liberty of others, and have a universal loathing of injustice, we could all live together in peace.
Amen.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And with that, speaking of liberty and justice and all of that rhetoric, especially for the two of you that had boots on the ground, what was it like at the LP National Convention last weekend?
I liked your term rhetoric there, because that was the ideal, and then you get to look at the reality. And the reality is, when the contest for humanity, for civilized humanity, is a peaceful way to deal with assholes and different factions vying for power. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but a shit show is the best we have to offer. And that kind of explains the whole process. You know, I've been to conventions. I started doing political conventions in 2008 when Ron Paul ran, and as a complete novice, I went into my local precinct meetings and county conventions and discovered that for some reason I felt like I was in Idiocracy, where I was a moron. But I was the smartest person in the room when I came to these things. So we dominated our political conventions, but they were, every time there's been a contested one, it's been a shit show. In 2012, we had a majority, and it was just like, all right, you guys who are contesting us are kind of on a irrelevant political fringe. You have no power, and it's, you know, it's shows that the horrors and the advantages of democracy when you're when you're in the majority, and you guys are irrelevant, you know, and then you feel bad for that, but then the convention goes smooth and everything's nice. Whenever there's two factions and it's a closely contested race vying for power, it's a shit show every time. And that's what happened at this one. It's like the Mises Caucus kept power in the party, and they lost it with the presidential elections because we didn't stay to the end. One of the first rules you learn is everybody has to stay to the end. Otherwise, you lose your majority, and that's that. And so yeah, I'm, you know, it's like you have to kind of just ride with the process because it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I echo a lot of what Patrick said. For me, it was my first convention. I just joined the actual party this year. Even though I've been registered libertarian for like 8 years now. And I think I was a little delusional going into it. I kind of, you know, thought the fighting was really just like brother and sister fighting, but really people really just can't align. They can't listen to each other. They can't talk to each other. And, you know, Patrick had made a comment that I keep saying to everyone is, and Patrick's right on this. Everyone else is wrong. We've already concluded that, but everyone's used to being the smartest person in a room. Like there are total idiots in the party, like complete freaking idiots.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, people in the party are smarter than, what's the percentage of libertarians compared to Republicans and Democrats? To be in the Libertarian Party, you have to at least be smarter than them. No offense to any Democrats and Republicans. Actually,
that's very true. But it's always you're kind of grading on the curve. So like you can look at the general population of the world and say libertarians are way smarter than all of them. But then when you get in a room with just all libertarians, it's like you're grading on a different curve.
Yeah,
you know,
but I mean, it comes down to
there's still 1 through 10 in that room. It's just like the ones when you get in the Republicans or especially Democrats, the ones are way lower. You get into negative numbers or something. But yeah, it's still 1 through 10. There's people who just with libertarians, you hope the trait of a libertarian is that we run less on emotions and more on reason. But then you'll get people in the room running 100% on emotion, and then you run into the same thing as, what are we, a bunch of leftists? You know, can't we like reason this thing through and think about it for a second? But you know, it is what it is.
You got a rebuttal on that, Mike? I saw you shaking your head.
No, I agree. And I think he's got it. But I wanted Allie to finish her thought as well, because I think she was on track to say something also really good. So
yeah, I apologize for
No,
I think Patrick kind of finished my thought for me. Because again, we are the smartest of the parties in terms of intelligence, but there's mental, intellectual intelligence, and there's emotional intelligence. Right. And we as a society lack emotional intelligence. We lack the knowledge that we are emotional. We think we're being rational when we're reacting on emotions. And the uproar on Twitter after Chase getting elected over every single thing he said, drag queens aren't inherently sexual. Well, are they? Like 90% of these drag shows, they're not stripping and sexual. But yes, they are, because that riles up my emotions, and I'm going to go out and fight the world and tell everyone he's horrible and all of these things, because we're literally, we are reacting out of emotions. And it was very evident to me in the aftermath how emotional the people in the party are. And I'm disillusioned. I had an illusion that we were smarter, and perhaps intellectually we are. Emotionally, far. I can curse here, right? Casey.
I
You
think
can
that's
say
been done
whatever
already.
the fuck you want.
That's been done already.
Sure, I don't get mics cut off on me. They are far fucking from it. And it is. I will argue with people every freaking day on this topic. If you are not aware of your emotions and how they control you, it doesn't matter what rational logic you use because it will fail. Communists use reason. Some of their reason isn't horrible. I'm not going to give you an example because I think it's pretty bad, but I mean, they have reason. If you're just using reason and logic, you're failing every time. And I love libertarians. I love everyone, but they're failing in the intelligence, the emotional intelligence area, or even just self-awareness, being self-aware that they're being emotional.
I'd like to kind of expand on that and present this notion that emotional intelligence is a great way to frame it for a lot of people. But guys, I used to bartend, and there's this issue of you don't have to like everybody, but if you go around trying to correct everybody, you're the actual asshole. Okay, so it's like I'll put our collective IQ in the Libertarian Party up against the Democrats and the Republicans, and I think that we would outshine them by a million. But we get confused about libertine and libertarian because we know people have rights. And look, it's about the government and the way it oppresses us. And we lose that narrative when we devolve into conversations like about being philosophically perfect. So gatekeeping plays a role. It's wild. Like, we are fighting a battle that we are designed to lose because the duopoly occupies the emotional space of everybody's mind. We are obligated, and I think that we can win. I'd like to believe that we can win, but we are obligated to win together with an appeal to the intellectual side of the human species, which at some point in my lifetime seemed to exist on a different level than it does today. Does I don't know, guys. Does that make sense to you?
It does, but I differ. I'm sorry, I talk a lot. I agree, Tim, but I differ in the path we need to take. I think our intelligence and our IQs have decreased because the government and mainstream media has worked really hard to get us controlled by emotions. And the more we're controlled by emotions, the dumber our minds are. And if you go look at people that, good, normal people that are falling into the socialist trap, I don't think the way to get to them, to get into their minds, is through their actual minds. I think you need to appeal to their emotions. And I mean, they're anxious people, they're angry people. Get them for 5 minutes to not be anxious. And I say this because this is my personal experience. Like, I stopped being anxious for 10 minutes and my entire freaking world changed because I had no idea how much anxiety I had until I had a 5-minute break from it. And I was like, wow, I can't do this for the rest of my life. So I don't
disagree with the points you're making there. Like, I think that you're actually on to something. I think that it's not an oppositional position to what I'm saying, because discussions of philosophy and discussions of reality and what's better will, for me, alleviate neurosis and nervousness. So I think that we're actually we're closer than what our conversation would lead people to perceive. Like, I think it's many factors, an absolute factor of open and honest discussion about reality and rules and how we are completely manipulated, or not so much how they are completely captured and manipulated by lies and emotional platitudes and this inherent distrust of when they look at somebody that they perceive to be on the opposite side of them or ready to take their rights away, that some of that is a fear played upon by the mainstream politic class. Like, so I think you and I are pretty close. I got no arguments with what you were saying. I just want to expand on it.
I agree. We're all on the same thing, and it's like emotion is you just have to not let your emotions run you. It's like your emotions. You say okay, but it's like is there a difference between emotion and passion? Because a passion for liberty. I mean, you can get emotional about it. I mean, Patrick Henry saying, "Give me liberty or give me death." That's about as emotional.
Pretty emotional.
You know, but it's having this baseline of where your thoughts and emotions are coming from. If you're dealing with the top layers of the onion, you're probably going to get manipulated. But if you're dealing with this core of, you know, liberty is how we save humanity, and come up from there. It's like the founders, they didn't have all of this stuff for entertainment. Their version of entertainment was getting together and talking about and pondering really deep ideas and philosophy, you know, because liberty was new. It was John Locke.
That's right.
John Locke suggested it and then was banished from everywhere. And then these ideas were new and exciting, and they could be passionate about them. And they said, you know what, we're really onto something here. This is how, you know, we throw the divine right of kings in the garbage, and this is the new way where we can unleash the collective intelligence of humanity, and you know, create a country where we're riding horse and buggies, and then 200 years later we're flying to the moon, or not, and
not, perhaps, you know,
not. And that's what liberty brings to us. And these days, nobody even thinks about these concepts. You know, nobody but us thinks about these concepts. And forgive me, but I'm kind of emotional and passionate about this, and I think that's the focus where we can be emotional and passionate, but it's not like I'm right and you're wrong. It's like, you can have this too. You can have liberty too, you know, and I can respect you for whatever you decide to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. And
just don't force your shit on me, motherfucker.
Absolutely.
There we
That's
go.
right.
I gotta say something here, because this is actually playing right into something important. We're talking about manipulation and how the population is manipulated, and how emotions are manipulated, and so on. You know, Philip K. Dick, who some of you guys know who this is, the guy that wrote "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep," which later became Blade Runner. He said, if you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use them. And that's one of the most profound ideas I think we have when we're trying to essentially we're trying to deprogram. I mean, liberty also has you know, we have to deprogram people in order to really be able to get it to make sense. I mean, we're fighting an uphill battle, but it's worth fighting, because the language itself has been manipulated. It's not just Marxians. It's really anybody with any sort of dystopian agenda has been actively pursuing the redefinition of the very words that we use, and not just the English language, but any language. They're actively pursuing the redefinition of words, and I think that's the part that's really got me a lot less tolerant of of the woke stuff, is because I realized that's the hidden agenda behind it, is redefining words and therefore reality, and it's very, very, very fundamentally dystopian and manipulative, to the point where, like, look, your case would have a lot more validity if you weren't trying to redefine the very words that we use to communicate. Once somebody starts going down that road, as far as I'm concerned, they're compromised, and they're serving the interests of dystopian forces that are causing the death of liberty right before our eyes. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic. That's actually what we've seen that. We saw that with the COVID nightmare and everything else. So one of the two things I'm working on, this is the second thing, is an analysis and breakdown of the manipulation of language, and how that's actually been very, very effective, and why we're dealing with, we're kind of jokingly, but very realistically, we're dealing with lower IQ bandwidth in the other two usually controlled opposition parties, Republicans and Democrats, because they've been successfully manipulated. Brainwashed is too cliche. I don't want to call it that. They're under the spell of this manipulation of language. It's a form of sorcery, actually, and that's something that we as libertarians, we have to conquer that within our own ranks to a certain extent, as you guys discovered who were there on the at the convention. But we also it's worth diving into as far as a communication strategy, because the other thing that has been removed from our society is civil discourse. Like it's gotten to the point where even nuance itself has been vilified. Like you can't have a nuanced position. You have to be one extreme or the other, and that's also deliberate manipulation. That's a form of the same thing. I want to have civil discourse. I want to engage in rational discourse. That was, as Patrick Kirby rightly alluded, that was how we were able to go from Thomas Paine writing Common Sense in January to a Declaration of Independence in July, in 1776, was through civil discourse, right? It was let's do a SWOT analysis of being independent from Great Britain, and let's see what the pluses and minuses are. And obviously, we know history, but it all begins with civil discourse, and it's been targeted. It's almost been vilified, and certainly any nuanced position is all but vilified in public discussion nowadays. That's part of the same problem.
That's genius. We should do like a dictionary. Libertarians should do a dictionary of the words. Like our democracy is one of the worst, because when you translate, when Democrats say our democracy, you translate it to what they really mean is our uncontested power.
That's right.
Then everything they do makes sense. When they say our democracy, you're going, wait a second, they're like trying to arrest their political opponents. They have basically stopped any protests, any large protests that the right wants to do now. They're not going to do because they know they're going to get screwed.
It's all insurrection.
January 6th made large protests not a thing anymore. And
they've even opened. They've even opened up the. Sorry for cutting you off, but they even opened up with the recent Trump conviction. They've opened up into the public eye just how corrupt the justice system is, and now the left is able to utilize the political aspirations of the judicial system to defy the right. I mean, it's just a tit for tat, it seems. What do you guys think of that, by the way? Getting away from the party for just a quick moment, since Trump was there anyways.
I think you either don't have laws or you obey them. Like, do you not necessarily? I break laws, but I know if I do, I'm going to go to jail, and I hope to have a militia that comes and defends me someday.
What if I go with there's too many goddamn laws, and this looks like political chicanery, where the political aspirations of a class of people are being played out in a courtroom where there's real power to punish somebody for a process crime. Okay, so I want to put that out there. People who follow my stuff know, like, Trump is crazy. I think he's hilarious, but I don't think, like, he's like P.T. Barnum. Look over there while we steal you blind, just like everybody else. He's the same thing that's available out there. So the judicial system looks weaponized. Before this ruling, the Democrats were going around attacking the Supreme Court for being corrupt. And it is like this game that they're playing in our brains, and we let them. So I don't just accept the Trump verdict on its face as he broke a law, because there's underlying laws that perhaps he was never even charged with or convicted of that allowed them to say, well, this is a felony. And it's like, which law did he break to make it a felony by his malicious bookkeeping? And all of those guys are malicious bookkeepers. They're not, none of them are telling the truth. We've seen throughout history where guys get caught. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'm a good bookkeeper. I don't break the law.
Yeah, you are. You're right. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't disagree on any of that. But Trump's a statist. And Trump propagates this shit. And it's really just your own garbage coming back and biting you in the ass. And that's where I say, don't have them or follow them. I would like to not have them. He wants to have them, so he should go follow them. But it's hypocritical. He thinks he can break the law, and then he stands up there during riots and says, we're the law, justice, and order, or whatever it is. You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking hypocrite. Everything is about you. And yes, the justice system is being weaponized. It's what it was designed to do. It wasn't designed to do. That's what the other freaking branches were designed to do. The court is corrupt. I've been through it and experienced it myself with just family court. All of it is fucking corrupt. You can sit there and lie your fucking ass off, and they do absolute. Well, that's another court. You got to go talk to the DA, and you got to do this. It's so disgusting.
Allie, I love hearing from a girl who says that the family court system is corrupt because it's fucking wildly corrupt. It's wildly broken. It's sexist. It's racist. It's fucking nonsense. It's an incarnation of evil. Even if at the end of the day you get to a good outcome, it still has the most bizarre adversarial system to get there. And family court should never be adversarial. There should always be a way to cooperate your way to a good outcome without the threat of lies and punishment. Like these cases take months to come to fruition. You could keep a journal of events and actions, both sides, and then that could be introduced as evidence. And the ultimate goal, without force, could be a good agreement at the end. And it's better now than it used to be, but it's an absolute mess. And it's one of the reasons why I'm just like, hey, the government really sucks at this shit. Like I was just like, God damn.
Yeah.
And
everything.
Yeah,
it's meant to divide. It really is. It's meant to break families up.
Yeah, I got to good outcomes because even though my exes and I don't really like each other that much, we eventually had to agree that we're not worse than the government. Yeah, we're not worse than the government. That was what it got to be. We're not worse than the government, so we made decent agreements. So that was that, you know?
Mine's worse than the government.
I'll just over the Trump thing. In a proper society, you investigate crimes in search of people. In a shithole banana republic, you investigate people in search of crimes.
That's fair.
And that's what this proves. I mean, we've gone so far down the shithole that we're a banana republic. We're no different from Haiti or the Dominican Republic or most of what Africa has become. Sadly, I mean, South America.
Our friend Econ Bro from Nigeria is like, you guys are catching up to it quick.
Yeah,
we're becoming Nigeria, sadly.
Yeah, that's wild.
Meanwhile, he's doing some good work in there to try to open some eyes. So
freaking hero, yeah,
he is a hero. And speaking of Trump, to stay on Trump is going to feel like a god right now. We're talking about him so much.
He's going to be here in a couple hours. He's going to be here in a couple hours.
He probably is. He's going to be
in Huntington Beach, right behind me.
Oh, is he really? Is he really?
Yeah.
What's he doing in Huntington Beach?
You should nominate me. Or keep your 3%.
Or keep your 3%, which, okay. That's the other topic. Yeah, no, there's a Trump rally in Huntington Beach in a couple hours, about 3-4 hours from now. So
he's a busy man for a convicted felon.
I think he knows he's got. I mean, he's going to take that and run with it, and I don't blame him one bit. I mean, they basically he keeps getting every time they think they're defeating him, it's like they're handing him more and more power.
He's made $34 million as of last night.
Yeah, what did you expect? I mean, he's going to play the martyr and get that much more money and support. And I've never been less of a fan of him than I am right now. Especially after over the span of 10 days, cozies up to the FBI, to Mike Johnson, to Mike Pompeo, and then Nikki freaking Haley. All within the span of 10 days, he's saying nice things and they're part of our team and I'm going to build them a building.
Putting them over.
Really? I mean, like that's Stockholm syndrome is what that is. Like these are your.
I don't think it. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mike, but I watch this stuff and I just cannot believe it's not all intentional. Yeah. And maybe it's not all intentional on Trump's side, but the Biden administration, not Biden, because we all know he can't process thought. Yeah. They are not dumb. They have decades of data of psychological operations on us. True. They know exactly. They know if they convict him of a felon, we're going to rally behind him. They know this. I don't believe they are. Here's my tinfoil hat here. But I seriously just opened my eyes to the psychological, what they're doing with us. I mean, we can go back to emotions and connect all of these topics, but I don't. It's the uniparty, right?
Yes.
You think the freaking Democrats aren't working with the Republicans to send us all over to Trump? And then what's going to happen? Like, what is the game plan? And this is where I advocate for us stepping back, because not us, I'm still not voting for Trump. I don't give a shit how many fucking felonies he has. But stepping back and seeing that we're making these decisions based on emotional reactions. They're corrupting the system. Rah! No fucking shit. Why are they doing it?
So
what
that
do they want us to do? They want us to do this. So why are we doing it? We're smarter than them, but they're still fucking with our heads.
I got a question, and I feel like I want to get it out there. I feel like you kind of pre-answered it. But, like, is this what we see going on right now with Trump, with the Democratic Party, with this constant narrative? Is this the design play? Is this something that, without an actual, like, planning board that set this up, but is this a design play because it works for both parties? Like, is it designed to do exactly what it's freaking doing? Like, that's the real question, right? I'd love everybody's take on that. Is this a design play, even if it's by accident? Is it a design play?
It's a design.
It is.
I will always say this: government and politics is a fucking soap opera. I used to watch Days of Our Lives. All my teenage years up until I had a kid. It was like 24. And it's the same freaking exact thing. And you can predict what's going to happen. And then it's like, oh my God, he's the dad. I mean, all of this nonsense. It's the same freaking thing. And it's all planned. It's all scripted. And they just freaking hurt us. H-E-R-D. They hurt us exactly where they want us to go. And we fall for it every freaking time. And I'm going to come back to, the point, the Libertarian National Roast of, at the convention, when it was the chair debates, they had asked all the candidates, what's the purpose of the party? And I find it pretty nonsensical that the purpose of the party to so many was to elect politicians.
No, that's great. What a kind of
thing. Like, we're
absurd.
What?
And you can do local grassroots stuff, and maybe we'll win, but we're playing into the game they want us to play into. And then they can manipulate our 3% and do what they can get us to vote for Trump. They can put our RFK in. They can do all of these things to manipulate us. I ran for treasurer. I don't know if you were still there when I did my little speech there, Patrick, but my purpose, what I think our purpose as a party should be, is antagonizing these motherfuckers, realizing what they are doing to us, and fucking spin it on them.
How very rough partying.
What's that, Patrick? Or Zach? Sorry.
I said, how very rough partying. Is it because that's
I'm an antagonist by nature? It's who I am.
Yeah.
You're never gonna know. You can do that. Go spin your own fucking definitions. Go do your own psychological operations. And organize. I mean, I'm a collapsitarian. I don't know about you all, but preparing for when we lose, like, we need to have structure in place. No one's organized. But here in Colorado, I mean, we're this fucking close to a freaking communist society. We're and again, collapsitarian conspiracy theorists here, but we need to be preparing for this stuff. So, I mean, an organization of free people should be aligning on what they believe, and we believe in freedom. So let's fuck with these motherfuckers like they're fucking with us, and let's make sure we're prepared if they win. And we're not doing any of that. I'm trying. I got to go build a garden this weekend. That's as far as I'm getting.
Good deal.
well, isn't that what the party was initially set up to be, with like David Nolan and Murray Rothbard's company?
I want to speak to that because I actually got to work with David Nolan. He lived in Mission Viejo, California, and when I joined the party in the early '90s, he and I worked on some local activism together here in Orange County. And I was, he's a boomer, I'm a Gen Xer, and so I was like, I had that kind of like, okay, sure, you're important and all that, but really, I know better. And in hindsight, I hate myself for my arrogance in that during those times. And when I was in my 20s, I thought, oh yeah, I'll listen to this guy who started the party. He might be kind of important, but reality is, he said in the 10 years after he started the party in 1971, so it's 1981, he said, the Libertarian Party is meant to be an instrument for social change. He made that clear. I can show you guys I have a recording of it there. You should look up Base to David Nolan on X. There's a video of that clip. It's an instrument for social change. Well, I can't think of a better way to implement social change than to, as Ali said, antagonize these motherfuckers. I think that's brilliant. And so that's a huge component of this. Also, I'm a bit of a collapsitarian myself. I do think there needs to be an element of preparation because, I'm an agorist, not because I think it's necessarily something to be like, that makes sense philosophically, although it is. I also think it's an inevitability. I think no matter what, this unsustainable centralized power is destined for collapse. So I almost feel like it's going to be the inversion. It's like I think we're going to be forced in sort of an agorist kind of conditions because I think everything really is going to collapse at some point, right? And I think we're going to debate between agorism and minarchism after everything's already been, after everything's already been decimated and we have to sort of rebuild. I think that's a kind of the trajectory where our global society is headed, because that's the net effect of what the global dystopia is going to accomplish. And so I think we have to be prepared for that. But yeah, ultimately, the Libertarian Party wasn't about winning elections, except maybe at the local level, which I think is important. But it's meant to be a vehicle for, he put it more politely, for social change.
There's just one story you think of in terms of like even local politics and being an antagonist. So I'm on the ballot for state house right now, and the Republican Party wants me to drop out. And they've got a little unprincipled asshole that even their own party doesn't like. And it's like, who the fuck do you think you are to like just assume I'm going to do it? And it really makes me just want to stay on it. Not even run, not do anything, just be a line holder and steal my freaking 3% from these fuckers. Even if that means a Democrat winning. And that's where, from my perspective, the only difference between Republicans and Democrats at this point, if we're assuming it's not all a psychological operation on us, is which one gets us to the collapse faster.
In which case, Democrats.
I don't know. I'm excited for the fall. I know it's going to be rough. This is just, for a freedom-loving person, I'd rather it fall than deal with what we're doing right now. It's horrible. It's just anger and it's hate and it makes me sick. I'd rather it all fall.
I got a couple things I want to point out. That they have so many tools to prevent an actual collapse that I think I want to make you guys aware of them. They rob our money, okay? But then we have technological advancement that makes us all kind of miss, not all, because we're getting it, but a lot of people are missing what they're actually being, like what's actually being taken from them. So the collapse can be delayed indefinitely with the shoddy monetary policy, with stealing technological advancement and putting it in under the government umbrella. And that's why our IQ being collectively high may in fact be a problem, because we're the only ones who realize it. So how do we, it's to circle back around, can we deprogram the rest of society to such a point where they see what we're missing? Like, I like to joke about flying cars, right? I like to joke about flying cars and the fact that I was promised flying cars. But technologically, the entire market's captured, right? Like, it's captured by the government and its cooperation with big oil. It's captured by the cooperation with big tech. They're stealing technological advancements and the benefits that we should be seeing and feeling and making our lives better. They're stealing all of that stuff with all of their pseudo narratives about climate change, with their, billionaire tax. All of these things empower the class that rules over us? It's an interesting kind of conundrum. I was listening to
They're all appeals to emotion too, Tim. I mean,
sure,
our world's
absolutely.
gonna end and it's gonna flood. Like, go trigger
Right.
the emotionally uncontrolled. It's all appeals to emotion. I mean, if we're gonna make it out, like, even, you know, if there is or is not a collapse, the only way out is to address the emotional issues with people. And there's one lady at the convention at a booth. She was an ex-Democrat. I'm an ex-Democrat too, so I was super interested in what she had to say. But she had a book, Deprogramming Democrats. And she was a really nice lady, lacked a little bit of passion and interest, I'll say, so it was hard for me to carry on a conversation with her. But one of the things she did bring up was cognitive dissonance, and there's only so much the mind can handle. And I can attest to this too, because it was I'll say there's like 20 things that helped me out of my Democrat coma, and cognitive dissonance is definitely one of them. And she just said, just ask questions, just keep, and any of you that actually like see me fighting with people, I'll often just ask questions. My favorite one is, why do you, I'm sitting here trolling Governor Polis. Why are you coming and fighting with me? Like, why do you worship the government? Why do you worship the government? And this is what they do. And I did too. I'm a good person for voting for taxes to go help people, but I don't go and help people on my own. That's totally fucking nonsense. But, you know, asking as many questions as you can to people so you eventually break their fucking brains and get them to realize that, like, it really is just one freaking switch. Like, a lot of people just think they're good people because they're helping, you know, feed the needy and all of this shit. Well, it's just one switch. Well, just go feed the needy. Like, why aren't you doing it? Why are you letting the government take 40% of your income to then go spend 10 cents feeding the needy? And not only that, like, enabling them and keeping them impoverished. It would drive me nuts. And I do with this freedom stuff. I come at it from humanity. We all know this. It's humanitarian purpose. Like, we are stealing people's meaning in life. Like, why are we alive? Why do we exist? And, you know, we are here to love and experience life and joy and all this stuff. And the government is literally fucking taking this shit away from people. I can't go help my neighbor because you've taken all my fucking money. Now I have no meaning left in life, and now I'm I'm not. This is, you know, hypothetical. This is me, me, right? Now I'm this empty shell of a person that is so easy to control. So we have to give people, you know, heal those emotions so the government can't get to them, and give them meaning back in their life so that they have a purpose and they have happiness, like true happiness. Not this made up shit that, oh, hey, I got a new car and this fancy phone and look how big my fucking house is with this 15% interest rate. Sorry, I don't even know where I started on that one.
No, you good? Well, I mean, you know, it's we all have our own different frameworks about what is good and right. And what you're saying is like, oh, I have a house, I have a phone. Meanwhile, there's people who kind of got ahead of the game and they're involved in the government and say, okay, well, we got this framework and they've got their little lives, and we got our community, and we need something to motivate our power and give us seductive fuel. Hey, these people are doing something wrong. We'll call that social pollution. Okay, that's wrong. That's bad. So let's get people and force them to go to jail, and we got to keep growing, and then, oh, well, we need somebody to finance all this. We don't have enough money to pay for it. So, hey, there's the bank. Let's get the bank. They'll give us an unlimited amount of money for loans. And that's where we're at now.
Oh, I was reading, I'm sure many of you follow ANCAP Air, but I'm reading The Liberty Solution right now. And I got through the greatest heist in the world, or whatever the chapter is on the Fed income tax. And I was reading it and it broke my soul. It was just so sad that 1 year just destroyed humanity. It just destroyed us. The Fed and the income tax, they gave them so much power to just steal everything from us. And it's not just money. They stole our happiness. They stole our meaning. They made us into these materialistic, greedy assholes.
Yeah. Let me give a shout out to Katie right there, because that's exactly how I feel. I don't have a ton of proof of it, but I absolutely think she's right. And they hold back so much tech and drip feed it to us. If everyone had access to all they're hiding, the world would be a lot more free and independent, which would take away their power, guys. And we have a bunch of narcissists that are lusting after power, and they figured out the perfect way to do it. And that is to manipulate everybody emotionally. Right, Allie? I mean, and
that's why we have to antagonize these fuckers. Make them fuck up, right? They think we're going to go along with this plan. Well, let's fuck up their plan and throw them. Like, they're going to have to improvise. They're going to have to keep trying. Let's step the fuck back and let's see what they're doing. And let's fucking play it against them. I'm sorry, I really say fucking a lot.
They will put boots on your neck and lock you in a cage, though. That's fucking reality, right?
I need y'all motherfuckers outside my door when they come for me, because I'm not giving in. They will kill me before they bring me to jail.
Hold up.
That is true liberty or death.
That's going hard.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get the vibe.
This is
I get the vibe, Allie.
It's I think we can get into caucuses too as the LP National Roast, but the LP
we should.
It might be too small, and then it says "Live Free or Cry," and I crack up every time I see it.
We should circle back around to the LP National kind of and talk about them as a vehicle for liberty in our lifetime, or electing politicians on a national scale, or anything that for example, guys, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about something that Dave Smith said, and I think it's an important point. He's up, at the LP meeting a lot of people, and some dude in a thong comes up to him and asks him, tries to explain to him a technical philosophical point, and Dave's like, on his show, the way he explained it is like, how do I take that person seriously? And it's like, I think as libertarians, that's a question we've got to answer. Like, how do we get the world to take us seriously? Because I interact with Allie, I interact with Mike, I interact with Andrew, Pat, now Cassie. It's like, this is a real issue. Like, I love you guys. You're on the same wavelength as I am.
Love you, Tim.
But how do we share this wavelength with other people where they can come to us and realize Donald Trump is a problem, but so is Joe Biden. Okay. And what makes them able to be such a problem? And it's a system that is literally designed to accumulate power unto itself. It's wild. It's just wild. How do we fix that? And is the LP the vehicle? That's the question.
Well, it is sad because Starchild is so nice. He brought me all over the hotel to help me find a bathroom when I got there from.
That's awesome.
Very nice. But why the hell are you on freaking C-SPAN wearing this freaking totally inappropriate?
Yeah.
But it's just one person, right? It's just one person. But the media is focusing on that, and we do somehow need to get Starchild to put some fucking pants on.
Do you think it's attention seeking, or
no? I've known that guy since the '90s. We go back to the mid '90s. This guy, and I thought he was cool as hell back then in my 20s, but now I'm like, holy crap, this is why nobody takes it seriously. Because he's a bright person, he's a sharp man, and it is unfortunate. It's like, are we going to play in the arena where we're to be taken seriously, or are we not? I think, coming back to just local grassroots activism and coalition building, I think if you're going to try to build coalitions and achieve anything for liberty, you have to reach a kind of comfortable middle ground where you just kind of agree that everybody kind of looks at least presentable, and in a way that doesn't shock people. That you save your shock value for your ideas rather than your appearance. I think that's the lesson I've learned in now my old age. We have to.
You're Gen X. You're the youngest person. Are you? How many Gen X's are there? You're younger. You're so stupid. So you're the youngest.
I'm not
old age, Mike.
I swear to God, I'm not a boomer. I swear to God, I disavow the boomers.
Talk bad about boomers.
Yeah,
mad respect for boomers. You guys have always had. Honestly, always had the best music. I think we did come close.
Amen to that.
but I think we came close in Gen X. But you guys will always have the best. No, but I mean, I'm 54, so I'm not a spring chicken, and I've been at this since I was. I mean, I've always been a libertarian, guys. But it's like I'm a former this, no, from day one. So the point being is, I've learned a lot, right? I think that we have to have our radicalism needs to be expressed in ideas, words, concepts, and in challenging people. But I've really tempered my appearance. But back in the 90s, I had long hair. I was like, I was, all over the place. But nowadays, it's like I realize, okay, it's all fine and good to be that way. But if we really want things to be effective, especially where it counts at the local level with coalition building, with people, then we have to temper at least our appearance. Let our ideas be the game changers, right? Be the things that challenge people and like wake them up or shock them. That's where the shock value should be.
Here.
I think.
The idea
Oh,
is,
go ahead, Pat.
it's like we may have our star child, but they've got their Adam fucking Schiffs.
That's right.
So,
Goddamn good point. That guy is a train wreck.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the blood-soaked scumbags, and we may have some guys who, have some different ideas about how they should look or something like that, and I'll take them over that any day. But that's what
hands down,
is focus on the ideas. As far as I'm 100% with what Angela McArdle said. The purpose of the party is to advance the cause of liberty. That to me is everything. Everything is to advance the cause of liberty. And if I find somebody that wants to advance the cause of liberty 1 inch incrementally, I'm their ally in that respect. Right. Because that can be the goal. Saying that electing people, that's just a part of the tool of advancing the cause of liberty, and to say that that's the number one priority of the party, they lose me. I think that the Libertarian Party loses its way when it tries to be a political party instead of a set of principles that you can vote for. And focus on that, and then the party, party can keep its way. And then when those ideas come up, how do I take this person seriously? Remind them we've got Star Child, they've got Adam fucking Schiff, or any of the snakes.
I literally want to hug you right now because I love the fact that I can occupy the same philosophical space as Star Child and yet still want more freedom for my freaking Democratic neighbor who kisses Biden's ass. That I want them to realize I don't have a problem with Star Child. I don't want to be the face on CNN, maybe, but I can philosophically and mentally occupy the same space as that guy makes me happy. And dude, I'm glad you said it. It was awesome.
Thank you, brother.
You think that's the problem with the party right now is, nobody's getting together and realizing we all come from different perspectives in life and different situations. Like you were once in the political realm, you were once a Democrat, you were once a Republican, you were always a staunch libertarian, or you were nothing. You were just like, fuck it all. And everybody comes together. Do you think we've lost that?
It's like, if we don't think people can learn, why do we bother arguing with them? I don't know what if you come to liberty, whichever way it happens, whichever way Tulsi Gabbard decided, oh, you know what, gun control might be a bad idea. I don't give a fuck how that idea, but the fact that she did is valuable, and and then now she's on my side on it. So yeah, I think that's the attitude we got to take. It's like the ideas are sound. Our ideas are sublime. They are the best ideas that, all men are created equal and they're endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights is that paragraph in the Declaration of Independence is the greatest paragraph in the history of humanity. And we have to take those ideas and expand on them and perfect them instead of throwing them in the garbage because, you know, somebody gets emotional.
I want to add a little bit to that
Agreed.
real quick. We all come from different backgrounds, and the way the system's set up right now with Republicans and Democrats, it's set up to divide us. And I'm going to revert back to a tweet that Allie made on around the 29th. She said there's not much more hypocritical to the individuality of libertarianism that libertarianism preaches than the caucuses created that lead to hive mind. And I feel like we all left those backgrounds and we joined the Libertarian Party, and then we divide ourselves and we fight within the party. And that's not a way to present ourselves. I think that's one of the biggest downfalls of the party right now.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna go with this ridiculous amount of gatekeeping. And I'm gonna point the fingers at what I would call left-leaning libertarians who want to lecture incoming curious Republicans and Democrats who are lean conservative. They want to lecture them about the best way to be libertarian. And they'll go right to the most contentious issue in society and start talking about immigration. And they will start talking about drag queen story hour to prove their libertarian creds. I get it, but I don't think we'll circle also back around to the platitude of advancing liberty, okay, which is a great platitude, but how do we advance liberty? And I think that the goal of the Libertarian Party should be outreach and invoking cognitive dissonance with humor and patience, okay? So now that's not necessarily a better goal or a better platitude, but that is how I try to do it. Like, so I guess you guys probably see where I'm coming from on this.
Yeah, no, it's Yep. No, the gatekeeping is a big problem. And there are issues that divide us. The border is a big issue that divides libertarians right now, but that's okay, because we can the clash of ideas is where the best ideas are formed, and I find that steel manning someone's argument, back at them really helps. And then Ollie's thing of asking them questions like, oh, okay, so you believe this, so what do you do about this? It's like, okay, you believe that I am 100% in agreement with you that the human rights should have the right to peacefully travel. How do you know they're peacefully traveling? How do you know? Like, why would any third world country go to the expense of keeping prisons for their criminals when they can just put them on a bus to the border in the U.S. and be done with them? So how do you stop that? So, and ask these questions and then see if we can come up with a better plan, with the goal being to protect liberty. So, I agree that the asking questions, and coming for better solutions with an open mind, steel manning their argument often helps, which is
that's civil discourse. That's the definition of civil discourse, not factionalizing, as Ali pointed out, but actually civil sitting down and having rational discourse. It's such a discouraged practice, both within the Libertarian Party and obviously the wider society. That's the worst thing I think about the larger society that we've adapted within the Libertarian Party, is the absence of civil discourse, and everybody just. And honestly, this is not a new phenomenon. Okay, I was at the 2000 convention. I was at the 1998 convention in Washington D.C. 2000 convention right here in Anaheim, California, and it's the same. It's hive mind. I hate to say this. It's always been like this. All right, my take is the Libertarian Party and all of our dysfunction and all of our nonsense and all the star childs in the world, I would still rather be among libertarians than among the mutually controlled opposition parties, by virtue of the fact that we are not participating in that mutual controlled opposition, which you also alluded to by saying a lot of this stuff is still by design. Like a lot of the, this happening to the Republican candidate, this happening to, it's all by design. And one other thing that really comes to mind, you've all heard the expression bread and circuses. Give them bread and circuses and they'll forget the suffering that they're actually enduring at the hands of the state. Well, the bread and circuses used to be a metaphor for entertainment, but now politics itself has become the bread and circuses. Right? I mean, that's a new phenomenon, right? Like that's new, and I've only just noticed that recently, within the last, really since the Trump era. I think he kind of brought that in. He ushered in, hey, it's all a show now, and I think that's, but I think that also is by design. Like if we can't distract you by professional sports, which I've lost. I used to be hardcore, right? At one point, like I'm from Southern California, but I'm a hardcore like Pittsburgh Steelers fan, right, and all that. But well, no, I know that, but listen, it doesn't matter.
I'm a Browns fan.
Well, I love you anyway. But the point being is, but in all seriousness, and how can we criticize the Browns? Honestly, really, I mean, especially of late. But the point being is,
you can criticize us. We criticize ourselves.
Trust me, has it been a great season for us ever in the last 10 years? No. But the point being is, the bread and circuses is now the politics. No, because people aren't paying enough attention to professional sports anymore. So what do we have right now? We have politics itself now becoming the entertainment source that everybody's obsessed with, that everybody talks around the water cooler with. And that's why it speaks to Ali's point, I think, really well. It's all by design. It's all a show. It's all theater. And we're all the worse for it. And liberty suffers because of it.
Politics is the entertainment division of the military industrial.
Frank Zappa. Oh, there we go, Frank.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
That guy would have made an amazing president, by the way, I think.
Fuck yeah.
Zappa fan.
Yes, he would.
I just now put it together how much of an individualist I am, because when it came to football, I wasn't a fan of teams. I was a fan of players. It's
right.
Like I like Barry, I like Kurt Warner. I like, those people. So I would watch the teams because they had the players. And I just, that's an individualist in me.
That's actually I think the healthiest way to do it. I mean, and this is also right. That's the healthiest way to be. I wish I could be, but I am that way with basketball because Pittsburgh doesn't have a basketball team. But I think that's a healthy way to approach it. And notice that the collectivism plays into all that too, and that's exactly how politics is now. It's become a team sport, and just like in any sporting match, it's two teams only. Right? You only have two teams on the field. Only have two teams in the court.
Yeah, it's only okay. If I'm going to judge a Republican, am I going to judge them on a Lindsey Graham, or am I going to judge them on a Thomas Massey? Like, nope. Take the individualist approach, and you don't have to be a fan of the party to respect the individual.
I think, though, if you take a look at the Republican Party and affiliate it with Lindsey Graham, you get a better picture of their motivations.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's not just Lindsey Graham. I mean, let's take the subjectivity out of it and do some percentages. You had John McCain. You had Nikki Haley. When you break it down into numbers, like 90% of their freaking elected officials, I mean, don't even align with their voters. Oh, you should go talk to their voters. They don't even believe in the shit the freaking politicians are doing. But I mean, if you look at these parties,
90% is generous too.
What's that?
Yeah.
90% is being generous too.
I know. I'm being generous.
You're being generous.
But really, I mean, when you look at them percentage-wise, they're not good people. The elected officials and the voters have been bamboozled.
Well, you can look at 2008 in the presidential election, Barack Obama and John McCain. I mean, Barack Obama's campaign ran on hope, change, transparency, a better government, and then what did you get when Obama was inaugurated, and especially when he got his Nobel Peace Prize?
And Gitmo, baby.
You got John McCain. You got John McCain.
Yeah, there you go.
The amount of people that
exactly drone strikes and Gitmo.
John McCain always wins.
I got a question. What do you guys think the average? What do you guys think is going on in the head? Where are they at philosophically? The average MAGA person. I went through the Tea Party like that. So I've seen this before, and I just, my take is there's a bunch of people who say something's seriously wrong here, and here's the guy that is like wanting to disrupt the system that is really wrong, but they're not really based in principles, or if they are, they're unaware of them. It's like, to me, it's like it doesn't seem like that far of a push to remind them that liberty is what made America great in the first place, and to push them over towards the libertarian side. And the Democrats, of course, want us to believe that they're all just these stupid hicks, that are racist and, everything like that. And I am some of them. But man, to have 80 million people who love America, who are going to be looking for a political home when Trump drops out of the picture, seems like an opportunity to me.
I think it's a very dangerous opportunity. My perspective on the vast majority is they are so highly emotional, and perhaps they value freedom, but they don't. And this, again, my own personal experience, they don't think through it. They're unprincipled. They don't know their principles. They are emotionally driven. And I'll take, my own family, for instance. My mom and brother are MAGA, and they are batshit. I'm sorry. I love my family. I mean, last time I'm from New York and went to Binghamton University like Tim, and we found each other on Twitter, which is super fun. But last time I was visiting New York, my mom is super tinfoil hat. Like, Chinese militia are on the Canadian border and they're about to invade type shit. And I just asked her, like, what do you think when this doesn't happen? So then insert my brother and roar, anger, and this and that. And then it becomes, you liberal fascist, and you're controlled by the Rothschilds. And all of this just emotional dumping on me. And it's like, dude, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I'm not a liberal. Maybe the Rothschilds owned Binghamton University. I have no fucking clue. But it was my third grade teacher that brainwashed me, not my tax professor. But they are very angry people. Maybe their angry freedom has been taken away from them, but they're not emotionally controlled enough to realize Trump did it too. That Trump printed these trillions of fucking dollars. That Trump infringed on our rights. They don't fucking care because all they care about is, I'm like so angry at Biden. Yeah. And I think, if we talk about the emotional aspect of libertarians, I mean, we're the smart ones. We're the smart ones in the room. That's why we're here. And we're still having emotional issues. If we welcome in those of that, and I don't want to not welcome people. Clearly, I can't stop you from becoming a libertarian. You just go to the DMV. But that makes me very apprehensive because they are so angry and emotional, and we haven't addressed ourselves first.
Yeah, right. Let me jump in if I can.
The difference. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, well, I have a lot of experience with MAGA Republicans, and I am completely unafraid to confront them with their illusions about Donald Trump. And when almost infallibly, I don't get an emotional reaction when I say, hey, he did some wild, crazy, dumb shit that actually contributes to the power of the state. And when I say those things, they all basically agree, but then they still have to circle back around to the fact that we don't have an answer that's better than Donald Trump to the establishment and the abuses it's handing out to average, everyday Americans. So I understand where you're coming from, Allie, but my experience here, at least in Central New York, which I spent decades here, is that they get that Donald Trump is a flawed individual. They get that there's problems with what he's done. Like just take a look at they like Donald Trump, but most of them were pretty anti-vaccine. So, but they still accept him. And the reason
right there.
Yeah, the reason why is because he's offering them something that counters the establishment that looks like it may be effective. That's the problem.
Point
or the issue.
We need to think
Right.
about what happens when Donald Trump's out of the picture.
That's right.
Where are
Yeah,
these people going?
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because there's cultish devotion, right? I mean, I deal with a lot of Orange County, California is actually a stronghold for, against Gavin Newsom, but it's mostly all, Trumpers, right? It's kind of a place in California that's red, surrounded by blue, and there's a cultish devotion that tells them that I must support him no matter what. Within certain reason, like short of him, endorsing Biden or some weird thing, they're like, it doesn't matter. I got to support him. It won't matter after 4 years at most. It won't matter, and we have to think.
He's going to become king, don't you know? He's
Right,
going to
yeah.
destroy our democracy.
Right, exactly.
What's wrong with having a king?
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. So we're going to go back to Thomas Paine now. Okay, no, but seriously, what I think, to Patrick's point, away he's spot on, is I want to build coalitions with these people. I totally disagree about Donald Trump with them, about who he is and why not, but it doesn't mean that I can't. Huntington Beach is a perfect example of this. The city council in Huntington Beach, 7-person city council, it takes 4 to make a majority. And in 2022, that majority was 1, and we've effectively in Huntington Beach seen a city council cancel Sacramento. Okay, that's huge, and that came about because Patriot, Libertarian, and MAGA people banded together and ran a slate and took over the majority on the city council. And it's they've made some missteps along the way. They're not perfect, but my God, they're standing up to Newsom and winning. So that's a huge example to follow. And a lot of these guys, like, are they're hardcore Trumpers. They just are. They're part of the cult. And I don't care if it achieves liberty. I'll work with you for now because I know your cult leader. Just like much as I love my Rastafarian friends, Haile Selassie did die. So like you know what I mean. It's like your cult leader is not going to live forever. And that's so it's time to look at it from a long-term lens, and it's always going to be local, though. That's the one thing. Every time I ever go to a Libertarian Party convention, which I've only been to 2, and it was a long time ago, it's the same conclusion. Local is where it matters. National is at best a source of messaging, and I don't think it's even good for that this year. But for the reality is that's the where the liberty is going to be achieved. And that's who we have to work with, maybe, to go get it. Now, also, by the way, there are RFK Jr. people around who are basically old school liberals, and like the old school left, the kind of left that was anti-war and questioned authority. Those guys that I used to get along with back in the 90s. That I used to work with the one good thing that we did in California, for God's sake, legalizing cannabis, at least medical, in the 90s. Yes, I was all over that, by the way. It's chair of the Orange County Health Council. But the point being is, those guys, we can work with them too. It's not limited to just MAGA Republicans, and we can get the best part. At our best, we, the Libertarians, can bring these two camps together at the local level. That's where our shining light is. It's not the national nonsense that we saw at the convention, that we see at every convention, really, to one extent or another. That's not our strength, but it can be our strength at the local level. I'll get off the soapbox. That's where I'm at.
Good stuff.
It was a beautiful soapbox, brother. I loved it.
Yeah. Speaking of local and state and what could be, Mike White in Arkansas. I mean, look what he's doing. So he actually has a chance to actually get in there and as a libertarian and win. So, I mean, I would actually advocate support him as best as you can, even if it's just crossing paths on Twitter and saying, "Hey, I love what you're doing, and I hope you're a success." So, but that's what I'd have to say. I mean, support guys like that, local, state level, because I mean, obviously, what we saw at the national convention, especially this year, it's not happening. It's all politics. It's all cognitive dissonance. Everybody's just tribal, and I mean, and we saw that. I mean, it's just a chaotic mess over there. So stick to the grassroots message that libertarianism is all about.
All right, so can I put in a request?
Just to point out, I've been to several Republican conventions, and they are also shit.
I believe it.
Right. That's right. That's true. That's true.
Another point about why is that he had to do some serious damage control in Arkansas from the MAGA people who he is coalitioning with to get elected after the Libertarian convention.
Also true.
Of the
boy, I'm gonna send him $20 just for having to put up with that shit. But look, that brings me to a question I want us to delve into. If we're going to talk about the LP and we're going to kind of roast them, let's talk about Chase Oliver. Let's talk about why he is and why he isn't. Let's keep it open framed like that. I'll start with why he isn't. Okay. I know too much about his social stances. That to me is not where we're going to win friends and influence people. So what do you think, Allie?
I think we know because people have asked him. Again, I thought all of these candidates were garbage. That's why I have a presidential nomination petition with 17 signatures on it.
All right.
They were all fucking trash. But, I mean, everything I've seen, I mean, he goes on a podcast and someone asks him, what do you think about drag queens? What is he supposed to... I mean, he could say, you know what, that's a topic I'm not going to discuss.
Allie, I have an answer for him. Like, the government is fucking us all, and we're arguing over minutia. Like, that's the answer, regardless of who you love and how you feel about certain specific culture war issues. Like, so is it perfect? No. But does it avoid a certain alliance with... Look, Joe Biden co-ops that space. The Democrats co-opt that space, and they're willing to use government force to enforce this dystopian kind of medical treatment issue that I'm not completely uncomfortable with, but I don't want it to be the forefront of anything associated with me politically. Does that? Hopefully I'm explaining that well enough.
You can see a variety of different ways, and I'm just learning about Chase Oliver because, again, they all sucked. I didn't give a crap really to learn much about him. I mean, honestly, I might take Chase over the dude who got too high before a fucking speech that he couldn't talk.
And then denied it afterward.
Gummygate.
I'll take your social stances over complete lack of fucking responsibility as a presidential candidate at your damn convention. Blows my mind. But anyway,
it's hard to argue that.
Let me talk about Gary Johnson.
Let me say something.
Libertarians that are getting emotional over these issues. Rightfully so. I mean, here in Colorado, they are passing laws where the government schools don't have to, they can socially trans your kid and never tell you. This is an actual law here in Colorado. That is wrong.
Yeah.
And what's happening is, and I have this argument, this is one of the arguments on why I shut down my fucking Twitter, is it's all designed. We're getting so emotional over these things that we're losing sight of what they're doing to us. They're hurting us. They're hurting us towards these social issues so we can get so angry and we can go become emotional and we can lose control of ourselves. We're not sitting back and seeing this is what they're doing. Let's do this. So when Chase goes out there and he says, look, dude, the drag queen story hours are not sexual. You need to accept this and move on. And that's not what he said, but this is what I'm saying he said. No one's listening because they're so fucking emotional. Like, can we just listen? And I too. I mean, a month ago, I would have been all, this is wrong. He shouldn't do this. Drag queens are horrible. They're not horrible. The drag queens shouldn't be talking to kids.
No.
But I mean, let's look at reality, right? And now, I mean, Pride Month is coming up. I've never been to a pride parade. I'm going to go look at these things for myself. Are men really dancing and shaking their dicks in front of kids? I don't want to see it, but I want to see this for myself because I think there's a lot of propaganda being used against us and we're falling for it. And I think having someone out there that's saying this, I've been there, I've seen it, what they're telling you is not true, is something valuable for us to listen to. The issue is we are so controlled by our emotions in this because for the kids, right? Like we're using the kids as that emotional trigger. Yes, it sucks. I wish we could save every fucking person. We can't do it. It's been very hard for me personally to accept I can't save everyone. But yeah, I don't think it's bad for him in that concept or in that perspective to be saying drag queens aren't shaking their asses in front of your kid. They're just reading a book. What's the purpose of that? I don't know. I don't know why.
That's the question, right? What is the purpose?
What is the purpose?
I think the answer, what Tim focus every answer on, the government is fucking up.
Yeah, absolutely. The state fucking needs to.
Greg,
absolutely.
The thing is, look, they've got the right to do what they want, and parents have the right to not expose their kids to it if they want. Having it happen at school without parents, realizing what's going on, that's wrong. And it's the government.
That's the government fucking us.
It's the government.
You know what I mean?
Strategize, right? They're using the school against us, and instead of getting emotional over it, how do we reach people to pull their kids out? The government education, the income tax, the Fed, and government education, the three things that have destroyed us as humans and as Americans and freedom. How do we get these kids out? That's how we save them. We save the kids by getting them out of this fucking school. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a little tangent. My 12-year-old told me the other day on our drive home from picking up my dog from the dog sitter from the convention, her social studies teacher is telling her how bad anarchy is. And I'm like, wait a second, do you not realize I'm an anarchist? Like, what the fuck? We're worried about them teaching kids they're bisexual or lesbians that they're gonna come out of. But now my child thinks anarchy is bad. And had we not had that specific conversation, that would have been a seed in her head for decades to come. We need to get them out of the government schools. That should be our focus. Burning down the fucking state.
Agreed. To add something with Chase and to go on your point, me and Andrew actually, we had him, and I would say for all those that listen and view, and for y'all, go check out our episode with Chase Oliver. It was actually pretty insightful, and he got his positions across. And then we talked about professional wrestling. So we got off the political sphere because he's a big pro wrestling fan, and WrestleMania was coming up at the time. And one thing that he started off on when we transitioned into pro wrestling and started talking that was politics, just like pro wrestling. It's theater, and it is all by design. And it really is. Like, me and Andrew love to talk about it's all the work. We use the lingo, work, shoots, it's a rib. And that's what and Chase actually brought that up. Like, politics is theater. And that's exactly what this whole shit show that we live in today's day and age, whether it's the Libertarian Party, the Republicans, the Democrats, or just your nonchalant independent that just gets inundated with all the media. It's a shit show of theater, and that's where we're at right now. We're fighting a collage of different culture war topics that is literally the government trying to divide us into little segments so that they can keep a hold of us and tax us into nothing.
Absolutely, brother. It's part of the design play. It's part of the border debate. It's part of the abortion debate. It's part of the corruption debate, which apparently corruption is completely fucking legal in this country, and that it's absolutely bizarre. But it's they recycle, recirculate, remanipulate these issues on an ever increasing basis. We can't go 3 weeks without somebody starting an abortion fight, right? So it's amazing that we continue to fall for it, and not we, they continue to fall for it over and over and over again. The change in the laws will take forever. People can just fucking relax and proceed towards liberty. That's a reality, and they deliberately choose not to because they are emotionally manipulated, which circles all the way back to Allie's first point of the day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They are playing us like children. And again, it's not us, it's them. But how, and I'm going to keep asking this question.
Sometimes it's us.
How do we deprogram them? And one of the only things I keep coming back to is make them laugh at themselves. You know what I mean? Like, keep them laughing, man.
You know, as someone who was deprogrammed, there's always various strategies we need to take. I mean, even in terms of, you know, our path towards freedom, there needs to be a variety of strategies, as I see it at least. We need to be taking the political. We need to be forming militias. We need to be healing minds.
Nope, I'm not forming a militia.
No forming militia. We need to be forming friends that, you know, can come bail us out of jail when we get arrested.
Mutual aid groups where we get to hang out and practice.
Militias are legal, though. Just FYI. Anyway, there's a variety of strategies that we need to be taking. You know, parallel strat, not sure.
Economies.
Parallel economy, that's agorism, yeah. Samuel
Agorism.
Agorism, hands down.
But when it comes to deprogramming people, it's the cognitive dissonance. It's the emotional. How do you heal the emotions? You know, like I said, give them 5 minutes of not having anxiety. I mean, it can be a hug, like literally just a hug. It can change a freaking life. Meditation. I mean, a lot of people aren't prioritizing these things. We need to make these things that are good for minds easier. You know, I mentioned I'm on the ballot for a state house rep here. My campaign was going to be meditation events down at the beach, the reservoir beach. We're in the mountains. There's no.
Yeah, I was going to say the beach.
I mean, volunteering, like organizing people we're voluntarious, right? Like, but we're not. Are any of us here actually volunteering to do anything?
Yes, I volunteer every week to spend an hour talking trash about politicians. It's something. It's something.
It is something.
For the treasurer role in the state party, so I do volunteer now. But I mean, none of us are actually doing these things. Okay, well, let's do them. Let's start a nonprofit. Let's get people involved. Let's show them we can do it. And let's show them they can do it. But it really comes down to you know, it's a personal thing. So we need to go out and there's that metaphor from COVID with the matches, right? And you take one match out and it stops. We need to keep putting the fucking matches in, like one at a time. One person helped me become a libertarian. Now I go out and I light a match and they light a match. Like, we need to just keep lighting these matches. The more we can light, the better, because then we just burn. It's, you know, a good metaphor for burning down the state too, right? We need to go just, I will always say I have my kind of sweet, kind of savage shirt on because I'm a horrible fucking bitch, but I love everybody. I mean, I will cut your throat with words, but I still love you. And I still have compassion for you. And I still understand that people are coming from their own lives and traumas and blah, blah, blah. The only path forward in my mind is just to love people. There's so much freaking hate, and the more hate we have, the more they can manipulate us. And to cut them off at the knees, you got to love each other. We have to, I mean, we can go into religion now, right? Like the whole meaning and purpose, and half our country, I'm making up the statistic here, let's pretend it's true, they don't believe in God anymore. Well, I'm an atheist. I didn't believe in God. The government was my God. And a lot of people will attack atheists and you have no morals and you're all of these things. Well, yes, that's true. How do you change that? And it's not by bringing people to Christianity or Judaism or whatever religion you are. There is a path towards spirituality that does not include a deity. I don't know how to pronounce it. I just don't read it.
Deity.
And if you tell me that's not true, I'm going to tell you you're fucking wrong because I've done it. People need a higher purpose. There needs to be a higher being, a higher something. For me, it's not a deity. It's the energy that connects us all. You know, you pray, you meditate, you love people, you put this energy out in the world. And I think it's very powerful.
You know, Tim mentioned that we can't go 3 weeks without an abortion argument. And that applies to every bit of division between the two major parties. And Allie, you
Absolutely,
mentioned
bro.
like,
That's all they got.
yep, you mentioned that people need that break from stress, like 5 minutes away from stress, give them a hug. You know, we don't get that break because every day we're just like engulfed in all these arguments between the parties that divide us, and they don't give us a break from the stress.
It's like brainwashing, right, brother? Like they're literally they have to keep it on high cycle, or they may lose some of their power. And
MK Ultra stuff right there. Yeah,
they learned a lot with that shit, man. They know. They know.
Oh
If we
yes.
come back to antagonizing, like let's make it worse and worse and worse. And at some point, I'm totally freaking serious here too, because I mean, for me, it got to a point with this Chase shit. I had to check out. I couldn't handle it anymore. There are people at some point. You all are going to check out if it gets to that point. But in 2016 was a very pivotal year in my mind, where it finally clicked that I'm voting for evil, regardless of whether I'm Democrat or Republican, and I'm fucking done. This is evil, and I can't vote for evil. So there is a point where when it gets so bad, brains will break from, you know, the manipulation, and they will step back. And I did. I went on Facebook and Instagram, and I took out every freaking news article, every news organization. I unfriended people who only talked about politics. I completely got that shit out of my life because I couldn't take it. It was so bad, and honestly, that may not have been the best path. But the point is, if we antagonize it, if we make it so bad for people, if we help antagonize the right and left and make it so bad, at some point, people are going to have so much anxiety in them that they can't take it, and they have to do something. And it's when they have to do something that they're going to start on a path of looking for something to do. Whether that's third party, whether that's philosophy, whether that's, I don't know what else it could be. But antagonize, make it fucking worse, collapse it. Whether it's the actual federal government or the manipulation power that they have over us.
I like attacking their manipulation power. I'm certainly on board with that. I think it's important. Locally, I have a group of MAGA friends, conservative friends, who are thoroughly disgusted with the state of politics in their state, and they are participating in a decentralization style revolution.
That's where it's at.
Yep. One guy took over his town board. They're all running for offices on the Republican committee. And I'm just like, well, that's that part. I don't know why, but go ahead, you know, like, but it's interesting what they're doing. And one of the guys, as part of his strategy is popularizing and transmitting every single town meeting where the current town establishment wants to make laws like, hey, you got to put your lawnmower away or we're going to give you a ticket. And hey, you know, like if you don't clean up your dog shit on your own yard, we're going to give you a ticket. And hey, if you grow tomatoes, you know, or have chickens, you know, like, and they're doing a nice job of it. And they're regularly talking about the budget in this town that's actually experienced a lot of growth in small town upstate New York. So its tax revenues are disproportionate with what its services are. So what they want to do with that money. And of course, my friend and our group wants them to return that money to the taxpayer. If they can't do that, they can prop up our volunteer fire department. But these guys want to buy more equipment. Not that some of it wouldn't be necessary, but the numbers are so disproportionate that then they want to institute a garbage recycling thing. And then they want laws and hire a constable to enforce those laws, right? And it's a big, huge pile of shit. And so at least we see some progress. And these guys are all anti-confiscation of property. They're very cool. They make some typical Republican mistakes where they co-opt Democratic issues where some guy wants to do a development and they're like, well, you know, it would be a good idea if he took 20% of that property and made it a park. And it's like, hey, the entire town is basically falling apart except for this new huge increase in revenue. let somebody build some new freaking houses, you know, like just let them do
Baby
it, man.
steps.
See what happens. And it's like, but still, it's better. I feel as though I've influenced them. They certainly supported me in my Senate run, so I do my best to support them. And those are the other things that we can do, is find people with good ideas, even like Mike's doing in Huntington, even if we can't agree with everything that they come up with. So I don't know, and be popular and funny, guys. Like, I think we're on our way there with this group of people, you know?
Well, can they organize to the point where they can nullify Albany? Like can they you organize a resistance the way, because that's huge. If you can get your local township to resist the larger, like the tyranny of larger governments, like, you know, from Albany and DC, that would be huge. We're trying to do that with Sacramento and DC here. And let's be honest, you know, there isn't much difference between Albany and Sacramento other than geography.
Sure. Let me point out one of the problems with that, right, is that these guys are shrewd enough to be out in front of that, okay? And every town in New York State, and I assume probably it's similar in California, or every county in New York State, and I assume it's probably similar with California, is reliant on funding provided from the state because of the way the mechanisms work. So, yes, they can resist New York State, but they're not going to get any of the fucking money. And so it will far offset the problems, the financial benefit that they're seeing from industrial tourism development. So, yeah, they can do it. Yeah, legally they're entitled to do it. But the state has already written laws that would be like, well, we'll just defund everything. So fuck you, and you won't have money to do
that too.
Freaking thing. It's a powerful strategy.
Issue.
It's a powerful strategy.
That's part of the combat, though. Trust me, we have that too. But that can be dismantled strategically as well with somebody that knows what they're doing, which is not me. But there are people that they're in the know. No, there are people that are attacking that sort of nuance as well. Like,
I was going to offer to put you in touch with one of my friends. He loves to talk to people. So if you're not the guy with the strategy, I get it. But if you're the guy that, again, because he's really fighting. Well, almost too hard sometimes, because he says crazy things, you know, like whatever. I love him. I don't want to criticize him, but I want to put him in touch with people who have strategized this in other places.
We should still connect. Because I'm just not I'm not trained in the law, you know, but there are guys that are pushing against that and are looking to dismantle and disentangle is the best way I can describe it from the clutches of Sacramento, in the same way I'm sure you guys have to do with Albany. And there's ways, and that's indicative of everywhere. Another thing I really want to point out is that this strategy applies internationally as well. I've got a lot of friends in the UK. They have town councils there that have a great deal of power that has gone on not exercised. For God's sake, that's the country that started common law, right? And that's that they have. If they want to nullify Westminster, they can do that. You know, and that's so. This is although I absolutely am on board with the project. In fact, the one thing I love most about the Mises Caucus, far more about anything else, is the project Decentralize Revolution, which is absolutely the path forward in the United States. But a similar model can exist in the UK and Canada and any common law country. And so this to me is a global. I've said this before. I might as well say it in this forum as well. This is a global movement for liberty, because there's a global dystopia crushing liberty across the world. We too need to partner in a way. Like they used to say, think globally, act locally. I mean, that's really something that should be us. We should be thinking globally and acting locally, and inspiring a similar momentum and similar movement anywhere where there's any sort of foundation of common law. There's a basis for this. So, but you're right. The entanglement is deep, and it's something that needs to be addressed, because this is where I think the fight really is.
And just a reminder, which is obvious probably to everybody in this group, the most important vote you can make is for a constitutional local sheriff. We had so much in my county. We had, most of the COVID stuff and all of the gun stuff was nullified by our sheriff saying, yeah, we're not going to enforce any of that.
Here too. Yeah, same thing.
Our guy was okay on that. He's not exactly constitutional, but he also was like, not heeding the demands of the Otsego County Board to go break up a marijuana fest, a marijuana celebration fest, where they kind of had like bands and stuff like that. They're like demanding that he goes there and arrests everybody. And he's just like, I went there. Everybody's behaving appropriately. Me and the guys are out. See you later. So he did take a stand. He did arrest people though for working when they weren't supposed to. So
yikes.
It was yikes. And he's got a huge fucking COVID bonus like at the end of 2021. Like it was just fucking bizarre. They couldn't use any of that money legislatively to lower taxes or take care of spending, to keep us out of debt. They had to spend all of the COVID money, and they handed out, I don't know, $100,000 worth of bonuses in the Otsego County system. Like it was just amazing. They're like, that's how big business does it. And it's like, no, that's not how big business does it. Like, big business has its own set of laws.
And
big
that's the problem.
Regulations.
That's the problem. We gotta learn how to sever that tie, that link to all that money that's coming in, because that's the incentive. That's why people are following in line to this dystopian hierarchy.
Yeah.
So
the strings. When you take that money, there's always strings attached.
So, but I agree with Pat. I mean, we need more constitutional sheriffs. I think I'll go a little bit further. We need more anarchist sheriffs. Those that will take their power and relinquish it back to the people, and
you gotta
not
find
do
an
anything.
anarchist.
But you gotta find it. But I will renege and say let's go and let's start small and go with the constitutional sheriff first. Let's get back to the basics. So
it kind of brings up another big issue with the LP in general is anarchists. I've gotten lectured by people for presidential nomination petition as an anarchist. Like, you can't be an anarchist and run for president. I'm like, well, I can, and then I can just not do anything and give you immunity from paying taxes, and that's it. Day one, no more taxes. There's no law. You just don't do it. But I mean, freedom-oriented people don't want to run for office.
Yes, you gotta find an anarchist.
Live their life, and that's how we end up with bonehead candidates that take too much gummies or eat too many gummies right before a freaking speech at a convention. No one wants to do it.
Gummy. What happened there?
I don't know. I just hear rumors. He got too high. He couldn't talk.
People of virtue will not run for political office until things get so screwed up that they feel that they have to protect their children and protect their country. And that's
where I'm at now. Like with the president stuff, I thought it would just be super funny. I'd love to go out there. I mean, as the antagonist that I love to be, I'd love to go antagonize fucking Trump and Biden. That would be like the privilege of a lifetime. But there's no way in hell I want to do that outside of saving the future for my children. I can't imagine. I mean, in 20 years, if this doesn't stop, what's left? There's nothing left for them. There's nothing left. And I mean, the local races, I know it's super important, but the one I'm running for, I can't imagine. I'd honestly might give up my freedom than sit for 3 months with those fucking idiots. They're freaking, oh my God, they're nasty, evil, disgusting people. I don't know that I can do it. I don't think I can do it.
The thought of actually, being a county commissioner and dealing with all of the bullshit, they have this novel length thing of bullshit they got to read every week. My first task would be to reduce that to 2 pages. Like, we got way too much stuff that we're in charge of, and we need to reduce that and get the rights back to the people. But it's like, you can build coalitions. I called one of my county commissioners and said, we need to create a county ruling to nullify all laws and regulations, state and federal, limiting the local growing and selling of food. I said, there's shortages coming, and and in a community like mine, you can get 100% of the people on board with that. And then just so when the state inspector comes and says to the sheriff, these people are growing and selling too much food, the sheriff just tells them to fuck off. And you know, and that's the kind of thing you can do locally that everybody's on board with, because, you know, state telling me I can't have chickens while we're watching chickens by the millions being murdered because of a bird flu that no human has ever died from. So crazy.
Well, they haven't mutated the virus yet, so you can still be scared.
It's on the roadmap.
That's probably coming.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, what back to the LP and Chase and COVID. What are your thoughts on his stance when it came to COVID? I mean, personal, or was it personal, or is there a little bit more into that?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm not 100% uncomfortable with his messaging. It reflects on the COVID issues. It reflects a certain belief in the system that I myself rejected then. But he also did reflect a belief that government force was not necessary to handle that situation, at least based on everything I've read. Now, I think that the whole COVID thing was an entire psyop where we pitted young against old, and I'm sure everybody agrees with that, where we shut down the economy to deliberately hurt the poor and the middle class and entrench our fucking oligarchs, okay? But Chase's messaging is not disqualifying for me, but I'm not excited about it. Like, I gotta be honest. It's a double-edged sword, you know, like, so that's where I land on that.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything from him. Again, maybe it's out there and I just haven't seen it. But I haven't seen anything from him that advocated for government mandates. You know, he had mentioned that the businesses were free to do that, and I agree with that. I don't think as libertarians we should need to caveat that we understand the businesses are controlling corporations. We know that.
Let me ask you this, Sally. Can a business say that I have to take birth control? Can a business say that I have to eat a certain kind of food? Can a business tell me as an employee that I have to fucking wear eyeliner to work? Like, any of those things, are any of those things okay for a business to tell me to do?
Well, let's I mean, there's different ways that you can answer that. In a free market, they should be able to, because no one's regulating them, right? There's no government to regulate them to say you can't do that. Who tells them they can't do that is us by quitting. And I think this is a huge issue in society too, is corporations are fucking corrupt. I've quit places because of the corruption. I'm very, I'll go back to being an antagonist, and I don't do politics, which is funny because we're here talking about politics. I'll never be a politician. I will always speak my mind to power, and I don't care what happens to me. Maybe that's a character flaw. I don't think so. I've definitely gotten myself in trouble for it. But we as a society have become so weak that we're not standing up to these people. So it's a multifaceted problem. It's with the government, it's with the people. Should they should be allowed to tell us we can wear eyeliner, and we should be able to say fuck you, I quit, and go find a new job.
Okay, so then let me take it one step further. If the government says we want everybody to wear eyeliner,
doesn't matter what you
then my employer repeats that bullshit to me because the government tells them to repeat that bullshit to me. Then where's my freedom then? Because obviously now I can't quit and go to work for somebody who doesn't want me to wear fucking eyeliner. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's where it becomes a conundrum for me.
That's not the free market, right? Like, libertarians, their beliefs are that there should be a free market. So where the challenge comes in, where I think it is with Chase and his stance on this, is when he spoke these things in written word, he didn't clarify, yes, I understand the government's controlling the market. Because there is that inherent belief the government should not control the market. So now the businesses can go do what they say, and now the people control the market.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with giving him that level of the benefit of the doubt. That he did not clarify. And I'll give him the opportunity to fucking clarify before I take a totally adversarial position against him.
Yeah, I believe that's what he meant because I had that same opinion at that time.
Right.
My company should be able to tell me I need to take a vax, but it shouldn't be coming from the government. And that's exactly what they did. Because we had offices where I was working, there were offices in New York, and they were required to get a vax mandate. But out here in Denver, there was no vax at certain points of time. There was no vax mandate, so I could go into the office without getting vaccinated. So they followed local legislation, and that's where there is no free market. That's how I interpret his stance on it. You know, people mock him over the masks, and I've had people tell me don't play the victim card because, you know, I always use my own personal experiences here. I had a child that went through 12 months of chemo, and whenever her chemo port was accessed, we had to wear a mask because germs come out of your mouth. And, you know, there's the science TM, right? Like, you don't know what you should believe. And when there is so much uncertainty, I don't think there's anything wrong. There is something wrong with the government mandating it. All right. I'm going to put that out there. The government should not mandate anything. That is inherent in anything I say. But I don't think it's anything wrong with putting on a mask if that's what you chose. Outside, while not knowing for a fact whether it did anything or not. If it can save one life. I mean, and in the mask he wore, like LPNH, and I like these guys. I'm not talking shit about them. They are harsh. But they have a picture of him. This is the face of the Libertarian Party. And I'm like, the dude's got a mask on. There's no such, the acronym for there's no such thing as free lunch. So you're telling me now the face of the party is there's no such thing as free lunch. I'll fucking take it. I mean, attacking him for his own actions to just, you know, in a time where things were so unknown, I think is wrong. It's not wrong, but it's narrow-minded. There are a lot of people that ended up being right. You know, some of their stances came before there was the facts, before there was objectivity in here. So I don't know. I think there's room for some understanding and compassion and making sure we're reading fucking words and interpreting things correctly. And that's where the emotions of libertarians come in, where mandate, fuck you, I hate you, you're a bad candidate, with, you know, ignoring the actual context of the comment.
Yeah, okay, but I want to yell about the British Imperial College of London and Neil Ferguson, who is a corrupt actor and always has been, and that was readily available, that his scientific modeling was a pile of garbage that was done by a fucking 2-year-old, okay? Like, this was not, there were certain things that they took advantage of I'm sorry, I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm also right. Like, this is a reality. These people were real actors in this situation. Neil Ferguson was the author of the fucking dissolution of England's meat product in 1992 with shoddy computer modeling that was entirely made up. Like, he pretends to have a bunch of variables and he doesn't. Okay, he just says, well, 2% of the population is going to die, and it's like, so everybody freaks the fuck out. They did this before, they'll do it again, and this time was worse than when they did the mad cow thing. So there should be communicated to everyone that it's okay to not trust the government, that sometimes human beings with their boots on the ground and scientists who are saying that this looks like a mess, they got censored back then, right? Like, and so the reaction always has to be, I lean towards freedom and I lean towards science. So there's a part of me that I get, we want to forgive them, but there's also this part of, they were fucking lying for power, and it was obvious on some level. So, right? Like, okay, I'm the crazy guy, but maybe I'm not, you know?
No, and I think it depends on who we're talking about and what we're talking about. I mean, in terms of Chase, again, he never, from what I've seen, never advocated for mandates. When you're talking about the people that were like, I hope you fucking die, you disgusting piece of shit, for not getting a fucking COVID vax, that's a different story. It was so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I was in New York during it all too.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't get in. I visited New York. I just did one work trip during a part of it, not at the beginning. And I had to go in a cab. and they have the freaking partition up, and I can't, like, I had, it was 500, it was summer, it was like 500 degrees in New York. I almost freaking had a panic attack and a heat attack all the same time. I couldn't breathe. No AC, because the partition's up. There was no AC coming into the back. I couldn't put the windows down. I mean, even just these simple things that they put people through. How many times I was there for 2 days? How many times did other people have to take cabs and almost die from freaking heat stroke? The restaurants on this freaking street, all of it, just so. They felt like such good people, though. They were really good people because the government told
virtue.
them
That virtue don't signal itself, man. They got to get out there and let people know.
And again, I mean, when we come back to the point of Chase, was he virtue signaling? I mean, maybe if he was, that's indicative of a character flaw. But I mean, people.
That's a good question.
I mean, if he wasn't advocating for mandates and he just was virtue signaling, has he learned? Like, people can learn, right? We talk about bringing MAGA into the Libertarian Party. They would have to learn. I was a Democrat. Can I not learn? I mean,
no, it's fair. That's good. I'm comfortable with what you're saying.
Exposure.
I liked there's no such thing as free lunch mask. I wish I had one when I worked. But I do think we all kind of forget other people experience things that we don't even know about.
That's cool too. Guys, look, I'm at my limit. I love you all, but like, it's 2 hours, and which just flies by, man. When you're hanging,
it does fly by
and talking about great stuff.
All right. Well, actually, with it being 2 hours, let's go ahead and try to wrap up. So, any final thoughts for everything that's happened within the last week? Libertarian convention. I mean, one by one. Pat, if you want to go first, I see you raise your hand.
Libertarian convention. With human beings vying for power in a civil society, a shit show is the best you can hope for. So embrace the shit show and just try to live through it. The lessons of the day are from Tim. The government is always trying to fuck you. Is where your every answer should come from.
At least start there, right? As a premise, that's a fucking good premise to start from.
It is.
Every ask for. What do you think of drag queen story hour? It's like, figure out where the government is trying to fuck us and answer the question like that. The decentralization is the only path forward to liberty. Think local, buy some chickens, start a garden, and and try to love people.
Yeah,
beautiful,
bro. My closing things would be like, let's encourage each other to check out Cassie's work and Zak's work and Andrew's work and Mike's work, and Patrick Kirby has some wildly interesting bits and pieces of a theme that he produces on his YouTube page. It's fun to check out. It's fun to think about. Guys, of course, please check out my radio show with my buddy Kevin Wilson, who is like, he's the guy that reels me back. He keeps me on from jumping off of that total conspiracy ledge, and he counters some of my stuff very effectively, very pragmatic. We have a decent show. It's both a real radio show that gets broadcast live in upstate New York, out of Rochester, New York. And we do a long form podcast at the same time. So we do a 20-minute segment. We have conversations with the people that are checking out our show. We put it out on Spotify. Decentralize Mike has got some things going on in Huntington Beach, California that are huge. Like, this is a big deal. And I'm going to buy a cigar from Cassie's cigar. I'll do that. And I'm going to send that Michael White $20 today. So those are two pledges I'm going to do, I'm doing it. What the heck? $20 is $20. Wait, that's not what I meant to say. But you know what I mean. I'm going to send him $20 and help him out a little bit.
It is Pride Month, right?
Yeah.
Hey, 1,000 people send you $20. That's a huge step right there.
That's like $3 million.
Math. All the math.
Yep.
Federal Reserve math.
That's right.
Common Core.
Common Core. Federal.
My turn. I'll go next. I end it. I think we all just the Libertarian Party needs to stop playing the same games that the Democrats and Republicans do. We need to be better than them. We are better than them. I think we just need to act like it and think like it and get better. I think we need to love our neighbors and reserve all of our hate and anger to the state and burn the fucking shit down.
Amen.
Be the light you want to see.
Love it so much.
Metaphorically speaking, don't set any buildings on fire.
Right, metaphorically. I just want to say, first of all, if you haven't had a chance, check out Max Justice that Patrick Kirby has created. Some brilliant stuff there. It's a liberty-based superhero that he has put together. I got to plug your work there, Patrick, because it's actually quite genius.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and I don't talk about it enough. I need to kind of form some actual tweets about it. But one thing that I am doing is trying to capture the success that we saw in Huntington Beach and a few other places. I'm kind of examining across the country, not just in California, and so on, and really trying to get it into a unifying document. I'm working on it. It's called a Revival of Common Sense: The Case for Township Liberation. And I just want to read, this is my closing, I want to read just the very first paragraph. It'll go quick, I promise. This volume is addressed to those who have, for any number of reasons and coming from many different perspectives, arrived at the conclusion that our governments are uniformly serving opposing interests in opposition to their governed. You may have similarly noticed the all-pervasive dominance of our governments over all media and public discussion. While these observations may rightfully cause great alarm, we are not without the wise counsel of those who launched the most comprehensive experiment in a society with a government subject to the consent of the governed. We can revive common sense. We can reconstitute America and what's left of the once free world from the bottom up. We across America and around the world who still value individual liberty must put aside our differences, build strong local and grassroots coalitions, and establish decentralized principled governance for ourselves while nullifying the invasive, top-down, increasingly dystopian governance of larger governing bodies. So, hope you guys got. Yeah, that's just the beginning. So, hopefully, I can get this done well in advance of Independence Day, but it's coming together nicely.
That is awesome. Wow.
That nice work. So, Andrew, you got any thoughts, man?
It's more if you think about what we've been talking about lately. Through this episode, we talked about Republican politics and Libertarian politics. It's more expensive and difficult to leave a lasting impression and akin to Reagan than it is to do it in the Libertarian Party. But the Libertarian Party outlasts, the stride that society is continuously trying to develop. It's cheap. It would be better for us, I think, to go somewhere else, even cheaper than the Libertarian Party, to build an even more effective infrastructure and a lasting impression for people to emulate.
That's beautiful, man.
Beautiful, and a great standoff. So follow all these beautiful people, these wonderful people on here. Check them out. They're doing some great work. And let's reel this in. So thank you, Casi, once again for starting this this inaugural showing of Agorasmokes. So go have yourself a smoke and just embrace liberty in some way, shape, or form, and get people to just have some dangerous thoughts. So until then, this has been The Legacy Right, Agorasmokes, episode 1. The Libertarian Party is a shit show, but everything's a shit show. I am the legacy of Jennifer and Kaiser. That's my main man, Andrew Joseph. Casi down there producing this shit. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Tim. And thank you, Ali, for this inaugural episode of a combination. And let's get on out of here and go have another smoke.
And let's do this again.
Congrats.
Take it to them. Ruin their motivation to survive. Privatize is like a jungle holding rest of a nation. You couldn't hold me like a tongue, your knees collapsing away. Hey, gorilla hearted, I beat in my chest to stay alive. Take it to them. Ruin their motivation to
survive, ride beside us like the tongue gon' hold the rest of an end. You couldn't hold me like the tongue, your knees collapsing away. Gorilla hearted, I'm beating my chest to stay alive.